before transgenderism was a topic in the mainstream, as it is now, there just were transgender people. And the brilliance of Marsha was that she was just like, she wasn't trying to prove anything or saying, I'm going to change the world for transgender people. She was just living her life, and that's what made her a trailblazer. It was just an unself-conscious, inside Daisy Clover, you know, this is me world kind of approach.
Well, I don't remember when I first met Marsha, but I certainly remember when I first saw her. I was in a place, this is in the early 70s, and there was a sleazy diner called the Silver Dollar down on Christopher. And a lot of young people hung out there, but it was wild. They were on ups, they were on downs, they passed poppers around, they were screaming. Diana Ross came on the record player, they'd all jump up on the table and start doing dancing and all. It was a wild, wild place. And I remember, it was like this. I remember these two people talking, a girl and this queen. And the girl goes to this queen, you know, you really haven't done acid until you shot it up into your eyeball. And I thought, holy shit. This was, you know, a very hard place for middle-class people to really grasp. So I'm in this diner one day, and this little guy, it must have been about 16, 17, a little gay guy comes in, his arms in plaster and in a splint, and he's crying, but nobody paid any attention, you know, they're just carrying right on. And he goes and sits at the counter. And then this really hot-looking drug dealer comes in and screams across there were booths, screams across the counter, Joey, you better get out here because I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And I ain't kidding. And then he walked out and he was pacing in front, and the whole place went dead quiet because nobody wanted a confrontation. So this kid, Joey, goes to the Greek waiter, can I have a cup of coffee, please? And the Greek waiter goes, no, I don't want no trouble. You go, I don't want no trouble. And this kid was not moving because this other guy was outside waiting to beat him up. Suddenly, well, I didn't know it was Marsha, this big black drag queen walks in. You know, a wig, the flowers, the dress. The thing I remember was the man's shoes, which kind of startled me. And everyone's going, hi, Marsha, and she makes a beeline for this kid, and goes, Joey, what's the matter? And Joey goes, he's going to beat me up because I owe him money and I don't have the money. And then the guy comes back in and goes, leave him alone, I'm going to kick his fucking ass. And Marsha turns around and goes, no, you ain't going to kick anybody's ass. And he goes, you know, I can have a carload of guys down here in 20 minutes. And she turned around and she said, yeah, well, I can have 2 carloads down here in 10 minutes. And the guy was like stunned. So he made one more lunge at the kid, said, I'm going to kick your ass, and went outside pacing back and forth. So Marsha goes, the kid goes, the waiter won't serve me. So Marsha takes out some money, she slams it on the counter and says, 2 coffees. You got to serve me this, my money, that's the law. And it was. And so he did. He serves them the coffee. So she goes, what's the matter, Joey? He goes, well, I got some grass from this guy the other day, and I was going to give him the money, but last night I got mugged, and they took my grass, they took my money, and they broke my arm, and I don't have any money, and now he's out there. So she goes, well, how much do you owe him? He said, I owe him $50. She said, oh, that's nothing. I'll just go down to the river. I'll be right back. She goes to the guy. She goes, give him a hamburger deluxe and a malt. There's my money. She put more money on the table. She goes walking out the door right past this guy. She goes down to the river. She comes back in 20 minutes. I see her talking to this guy. She obviously gave him the money. She comes inside. She goes, did you eat? He goes, thank you, Marsha. And that was the end of it. And, I mean, who the hell? It was a lot more than that. I mean, you have to understand, this is the 70s. People did it. No gay wanted to be confronted with anything.
Do you think she was a gay Mother Teresa, a gay saint? Would you saint her?
A secular saint, like Saint Genet maybe, but not a saint like on a cloud. No. I think she was an extraordinary persona in and for the gay community. I don't know that we'll ever see another one of those.
She was a saint. She didn't have a mean bone in her body,
no.
And with the story you tell is so
poignant because I remember people used to think sometimes that she wasn't listening or she was dozing off or just sitting there. I took Marsha with Willie and George out to see my family, my biological family. We were supposed to take my mother and hang this bowl in the kitchen. And Marsha knew she was totally, we call her Marshall because all these older people were retired officers at the party we arrived at. So I said, we'll slip and say Marsha, so we'll introduce her as Marshall. So if they hear us call her Marsha, they'll just think they heard wrong. So anyway, at the end of the evening, it's about 11 o'clock, and Willie, who's always late, he said, oh, it's too late to hang the bowl now. And Marsha, the only thing she said all evening was just out of there, she says, of course it's not. And so I'm telling you is that Marsha, just like he said, she knew everything that was happening, and she was so intelligent and so aware, and when she moved, she knew exactly how to do it, and she was always underestimated, because I can tell you, Marsha was not only one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever known, but she was also one of the really instinctively brightest human beings, and she's an inspiration in my life to this day.